I'm energetic, and I'm known by my friends, especially my very close friends and family, as someone who never stops. My husband claims I pop out of bed in the morning and I'm on the go until evening, and then I sleep very solidly. I wake looking forward to the day and to tackling my to-do list. Yeah, it's thrilling to check off each item as I finish it off. Then, at the end of the day, I review what I accomplished and what I have to look forward to the next day. I'm never bored, and these days I no longer feel exhausted. I'm in my 70s and genuinely feel that my energy level has increased substantially since menopause. How did I do it? Not from listening to my friends who were often warning me that to slow down is important because my life didn't seem to contain anything except work. Not from worrying about how others might view or judge me. I used to try to listen and did worry about others' opinions of me. And to be honest, I believe now that that had a lot to do with my stress and ultimately my exhaustion. Hi, I'm Maryanne Nicholls. I'm a psychotherapist and a coach who works with people, primarily women, who love to work, want to work, but are ending up stressed, anxious, and exhausted. If you're like me and love to be busy, but feel the weight of judgment on your shoulders, then you're in the right place. How can you shrug off that oppressive, weighty feeling? How can you shed that guilt and feeling of shame that you somehow need to gain approval for who you are? I wish I could say that all you have to do is shrug it off. If it were that simple, you would have done it gladly a long time ago. I'm sure you've tried to. But it may be that somewhere deep inside, you wonder if they're right and you aren't, that they somehow know better than you do, whoever they are. So even though the urge to say, to hell with it, rises, you might shove it down because you aren't completely sure. Instead, you begin to spiral into self-doubt. What if they're right and I've missed something? What if I let it go now and then a week later realize I made a horrible mistake? What if I end up causing my friend or husband or wife or mother or father needless pain? What if I get rejected and end up alone? What if I discover that I can't do anything worthwhile on my own? And many, many others. It's paralyzing. And not only that, it takes up so much energy that you end up exhausted at the end of every day. It's not so much that you fall asleep, but that you pass out, only to get up already feeling anxious and stressed, setting yourself up for another day of trial and loss of energy. There is a way out of this downward spiral: self-acceptance and self-trust. Something that may seem near impossible for you to gain, and yet I can say with certainty that it's possible for you to gain it back. And necessarily, if you want to release all that pent-up energy and live the life you deserve with joy. Self-acceptance and self-trust. I've talked a little about these basic personal building blocks in my series on how to love what you do without burning out, and I'll link to it at the end of this video. Self-acceptance means accepting who you are and where you are in your life right now. Your work, your body, your age, your shortcomings, everything about you. It doesn't mean giving up on being healthy or wanting to look and feel beautiful and accomplished. It does mean dropping the values and opinions of anyone else except yourself and truly loving you, warts and all. Self-trust means knowing and then trusting your values over anybody else's. This isn't something you can necessarily articulate because your values don't actually reside in your mind. They reside in your body. When you see the first spring flower pop its head out of the snow, If you're like me, you'll feel a burst of energy and a sense of anticipation of spring coming. When you see a loved one after a long absence and feel light and excited with a sense of warmth flooding you. When you finish a difficult but meaningful project and feel that quiet, calm lightness in the center of your heart. When you finally get to the other side of a painful and difficult issue with grace and clarity. These speak of your values and are felt physically. And these values are the source of all your energy. You are someone with loads of energy, but until now, most of that energy has been at the service of holding back self-doubt, guilt, and shame. That takes a lot of energy. Can you see that it isn't your energy that's the problem? The problem, your kryptonite, is the feeling of guilt and shame and self-doubt that is poisoning your personal well. Your ceaseless energy is what has got you through, in spite of that dragging weight. Now it's time to begin to learn how to let it go and reclaim what is yours by birthright. And you can begin with step 1, noticing the load you're carrying, the time and energy you invest in self-judgment and self-doubt. Yes, being thoughtful of your actions and voice is a good practice, but not when it's done out of fear. What I suggest is this. Notice when you've judged or doubted yourself and note it down. It might be on the spot or several hours later, just a word to mark the occurrence. At the end of a week of noticing, you may be surprised at the results. This practice alone will probably begin to help you be less self-critical. Even if it doesn't, it will help you get to the next step. Step 2 involves taking a moment to consider alternatives to self-judgment and self-doubt. I'm not suggesting you do anything else in step 2 except to open your mind and your heart to another way that is real and honest and that supports you better, or at least just as well. It might be to stop for a relaxing tea or a calm walk, or to look at an inspiring quote. It might be to consider what someone you admire might do. It might be something else that helps you reconsider. Step 3, do something different. This is the action step, and it needn't, in fact, shouldn't be something big. Something small will work just as well, if not better. If you find yourself thinking, why did I just say that? You might notice, then take a long, slow breath, consider backing away, and then doing just that, backing away. The goal is to let that kryptonite of self-doubt and self-judgment fall away so that you can begin to reclaim what is yours by right, your boundless energy. If you want more on this topic, please do watch my videos on how to love what you do without burning out. Thanks for listening.